Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is going to be a pretty long video, so stay with me. I go on a little rant against the media at the end, so you got to be there for that. We're going to be without Michael Gallup. That news came through when, there was rumors when I was making a video yesterday, and it came through yesterday that he was going to miss within 2 to 4 weeks. It's a huge blow, in my opinion. I was looking for a huge year from him, but I believe that we have the depth with Devin Smith. Tavon Austin's going to have to step up, and Cedrick is going to have to step up. Both of those guys, along with Cobb too. Now listen, in training camp, he had the dropsies a lot when I was there. So I hope, that's just nothing, and I hope that's not the reason why the Packers moved on for him. I know they got a lot of young rookies and trim their salary cap that way, but I hope it was just that, not that he started dropping the football. We're working out Josh Jones. I mean, he played well for my Madden team last year, but I don't know how well he is in real life. There's no more Minkah Fitzpatrick. He has gone to the Steelers, but the Steelers gave him a first. After they known they lost Ben Roethlisberger, they gave him their first. The Steelers are 0-2 and probably going to lose a lot, and they gave the Dolphins a first. Win Dolphins. I'm sorry. Wow. Read the room, Steelers GM. You're going to lose a lot this year, and you're going to give probably a top 10 pick you just gave to the Dolphins. Put a pin in that. We'll go back to that later. Jalen Ramsey has requested a trade, but I don't think we're in that at all because he's mad that he didn't play man defense enough in Jacksonville, and I don't think we play enough man to keep him happy. And I'm still extremely happy we drafted Zeke instead of him. He's a potential cancer. In my opinion, Zeke is just a knucklehead. But outside of him being a knucklehead, his teammates love him. We love him. The organization loves him. Everybody loves him. Just stop being a knucklehead. That's all I always say. Just stop being a knucklehead. But Zeke is, yeah. Plus, I don't think Ramsey played against good quarterbacks. If you look back, a lot of the quarterbacks that were good in his division weren't playing when they played against him and things of that sort. So I don't think he's seen like Aaron Rodgers types and stuff like that yet. So good luck, Ramsey. Speaking of bad quarterback, the Giant fans are probably seeing the last days of Eli. There's no reason not to start your rookie when you're losing. So this is probably the last times of Eli. And lastly, with this, well, not lastly, Taco tweets, "Free me," and I think we're trying, Taco. We got to get more than a burrito. 4 sacks, man. If somebody would give us something, I think they would probably do it. And here's a point I've been trying to make with Byron Jones. $72 million cornerback Tremaine Johnson got benched for the Jets. And that's gotta make him feel horrible to get benched by the Jets or whatever. But I bring it up because Byron Jones is in just as good a position as Dak when it comes to contracts because somebody is going to pay him a lot at cornerback because he's far better than Tremaine Johnson. So we need to try to lock him up for a reasonable contract because he's a reasonable dude, a reasonable contract because I don't want to ever be in that position where you have to overpay a cornerback like Johnson and can't really use him. I don't even want to be forced to be in that Brandon Carr situation when you pay an obvious number 2 cornerback, elite cornerback money. Only thing about Byron Jones, he has to catch the ball. That's the only thing missing from his game. Work on the jugs machines with the wide receivers or something, man. You got to catch it. All right, now this time, I guess it wasn't too long. I'm going to sound a little bit like your boy Donald Trump here with a biased media bashing now. No, he's 100% right. The only thing is just not one side. All media, that's what he's getting wrong. But all mainstream media lies, period, not just one outlet. But it applies to sports as well. And it's because of their own interest or whatnot. I got 2 examples here. All right. We know how much the NFL loves the Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz, especially if you heard Chris Collinsworth call the game Sunday night that we talked about yesterday. He had orgasm after orgasm when he was talking about Carson Wentz. But the NFL .com's power rankings came out, which I never cared about, don't care about still, and got us ranked at 4, whoop-de-doo, don't care. But the Eagles, who have played like 3/4 of good football this year, are ranked 8th. And a team they just lost to, the Atlanta Falcons, is ranked 21st with the same 1-1 record. How is this? In my mind, that doesn't make any sense. And worst of all, here is the glowing write-up that they gave, and this has to be from an Eagles fan. Nelson Aguilar had the game in his hands. He just couldn't hold on to it. Carson Wentz's perfectly placed dart down the far sidelines with 2 minutes to play hit his wide receiver in stride, but Aguilar dropped what would have been a sure touchdown. When Zach Ertz was stopped 1 foot short of a first down deep in the Falcons' territory, it was the final painful chapter in a frustrating loss for the Falcons. It's a shame, too, because this was one of the most enjoyable Wentz's games ever. The quarterback struggled mightily in the first half and lost his 2 top playmakers, Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson, to injury, but he nearly brought the Eagles all the way back with a series of money throws and high leverage spots. It was a reminder that even in defeat, Philadelphia is in good hands. Now the Eagles have to get healthy after a punishing Sunday. Now that has to be an Eagles fan. Also what needed to be in there, the Eagles also needed Matt Ryan to play like a complete idiot with 2 late interceptions. One in his own territory, what was stupid. He just laid the ball on, take a knee or something and punt the ball. One was just a terrible interception in his own territory, and the other was even worse after driving the field on the Eagles and threw the dumbest, interception in the end zone. So all that is nothing. So it just leaves me with wow. Now I will say, and I try to keep it as honest as possible. Wentz played very well at the end, and I'll easily give him that. But this is cherry picking at its best. You disregard all the bad and highlight all the good. Completely opposite of Dak Prescott, because they disregard all the good and blame it on other people. Oh, he's only doing that because blah 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 blah, and overemphasizes the bad. If Dak got hit nearly as much as Wentz, he's holding on to the ball too long, man. And why is this? Why do they love Carson Wentz so much or whatever? Because the media loves a guy that can throw a pretty pass, which leads me to the second half of my rant. They make you believe, this is what, you can't just fall up, but you got to use your brain and think about situations. You had to watch that game with Atlanta and Philadelphia to understand how biased that was. If you didn't watch the game, you'll read that and go, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you have to use your own brain. Here's another situation. You got to use your own brain. They make you believe that passing is the way to winning because it looks so good on TV. The fans love it. It's great for ratings and filling the stands or whatever, but it's still football. It's still football. And the top teams that are in the Super Bowl year after year are usually top 5, top 10 in the league in rushing. This goes back to what I was saying yesterday, and I got a little pushback from it. Last year, the Rams were 3rd in the league in rushing, and the Pats were 5th in the Super Bowl. The year before that, the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, were 3rd in the league in rushings. And even the Falcons, with Matt Ryan, with another guy that can overrated as I don't know what, but he can throw a pretty pass. Matt Ryan and Julio, the greatest receiver of our era, whatever, when they made the Super Bowl, they were 5th in rushing that year and lost to the Patriots that was 7th. So all this fake stuff about, this you have to pass, it's all fake, because when you look at what actually happens in the games, it's running the football. Now, I'm bringing that to the Cowboys because of our situation. I am completely giddy, 100% giddy over our passing game. I love to see it. I love to see it just as much as all the other fans and whatever. But we have heavily invested in our run game, with contracts to offensive line, with picking players that can actually run block tremendously. Pass block, okay, but run block tremendously. And then we give what, $90 million to the best workhorse running back in the league by far. There's nobody close to Ezekiel Elliott when it comes to pounding teams or whatever. He's next. I think Derrick Henry is second, and you know how far Derrick Henry is from Zeke. So we have to remember where our investments have went with this football team, and a successful running team, a run game, makes your passing game a lot better. Dak Prescott and I will stay at an ungodly percentage on play action. Everyone will be wide open. And then lastly, it helps the defense tremendously as well. Why? Because they're sitting down while Zeke is eating them up. You know what I'm saying? So don't let the media, just don't even listen to what they say. You watch the football games and use your brain, and you'll come to better conclusions than what people try to feed you on that what do you call it, dumb tube or whatever they call it, the TV. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the Dallas Miami game. All right, holla at you. Peace.